I am Warren Dean, brand new spokesperson for the Edmonton Humane Society, and this is my very first week in review for Friday, February 21st. It was a week of firsts here at the EHS as our vet department had to spay a pig, a new experience. Petunia the pig needed that attention this week at the Edmonton Humane Society. With Dr. Lang and a new experience here, you guys did some learning, always learning here at the EHS. Something different, we have a pig, which is Petunia, came to us a while ago. Just talk a little bit about her first and the age and her situation.
Well, Petunia came to us as just as a little pot-bellied pig that needed a new home. She's a girl, obviously, and she was a little hard to tell exactly how old, but we figured she was not really quite an adult, but not really a little piglet anymore. So we had her pegged somewhere around the 4 or 6 months, something like that.
And quite large for 4 or 6 months compared to a dog or a cat. They grow quite quickly.
They grow certainly very quickly. I mean, she's not that tall, but she certainly put on a lot of weight, even in a couple weeks that we had her here.
And what we needed to do was, your learning part was we had to spay Petunia.
That's right. There's quite a bit of a problem with the pot-bellied pigs as far as people getting them, not really thinking about what they're getting into, and the fact that they grow so much. And there's quite a lot of breeders out there passing them off and getting them into homes that don't necessarily know where they're going. And we end up with pigs that we don't want to have contributing to that problem. Right. So we decided to go ahead and get her spayed. And
this was a learning process for yourself and others. We had to get a specialist in for this one because this was new for us.
Yeah, not exactly a specialist so much as somebody that's experienced enough and knows and has done some pig spays. Because that's not something that we do here. We don't see pigs that often. And in the past, we really hadn't gone to the spay or neuter on them, pretty much because we weren't all that comfortable in the surgery.
So describe it a little bit compared from your viewpoint. You sat back, you watched a lot and took it all in. How much different was it for you?
Well, I mean, the actual procedure is fairly similar. You're still removing the uterus and you're removing the ovaries, which is exactly the same as you'd be doing in a dog or a cat spay. The approach was really probably the most different because just the way the anatomy is, it's a lot easier to do a pig spay through the flank. So on the side of the body instead of right on the midline. You can do dog and cat spays that way as well, but it's generally speaking easier to do it on the belly. But on a pig's, especially when they don't have a lot of clearance from the ground, they're more likely to be dragging that incision into places that you don't want it to go because they don't have much space there. So it's better to do it on the flank.
Yeah, Petunia looks great. She's recovering nicely now.
Very quickly.
And yeah, she bounced back very fast.
Oh yeah, she was out running around within a few hours after the surgery. Not quite as forcefully pulling on us when we're walking down the hallways, but that's about it.
And that's one of the things that changes with cats and dogs. The behavior changes a little bit. That's one of the reasons we do spaying to kind of help that. So you've noticed that in Petunia as well?
Well, that was more just effect of the anesthetic and such. I don't think it's going to make a big difference in her actual outgoingness or anything else like that in the short term. Generally speaking, though, they have seen, though, in pigs, if they get spayed or neutered, that they are less likely to become aggressive as they get older, because that is something that is quite a common problem when you're trying to keep them as a pet. It's not usually something they worry about too much when they're out in the barn running around, because they're not having that same interaction. But when they're trying to be a pet, it certainly has a tendency to be, as they get big and mature, they get a little pushier and can actually become quite aggressive.
So there you go. If you're going to have a pet like this, you definitely want to treat it like every other pet in the home, a cat or a dog, and make sure you take care of everything right away.
That's right.
Dr. Lang, thank you very much. That's this week's Week in Review. We'll have one every Friday for you. You can check us out on Facebook, on Twitter, or at our website, EdmontonHumaneSociety.com.